Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gridiron Network Podcast, episode number 4. Today, we've got some, as usual, NFL news. We want to talk about some of the rookies that played in preseason week 2, and then we are getting into our NFL tier list. We're going to go through category by category, put each team into a category. We both did it a little bit differently, so we're going to get into that. But today, Harry, we are starting with John Mechie III. Texans trading wide receiver John Mechie and a 2026 sixth to the Eagles for tight end Harrison Bryant and a 2026 5.
Yeah, man, I think that is a great move by the Eagles because unfortunately for the Texans, I think their wide receiver room is just way too crowded right now, and I don't think he would have seen that much in that room. And now he gets a shot to kind of just step up and be the Eagles' possible. I think would possibly be trying to go for wide receiver 3 behind Dotson, and that could be entertaining to watch.
I think he'll definitely take it from Dotson at some point if he can stay healthy.
Yes.
If he stays healthy, I think he easily takes that from Dotson. I don't think the Eagles really wanted to keep Dotson this year, but ultimately stuck with him just because it's kind of like one of those we know what we have situations.
Yep.
But I also think they have to start thinking about prepping for life after A.J. Brown.
Yep.
And maybe that's what this trade could have been. Let's see what we've got in this guy. Let's take a chance on the guy who had heaps of potential coming out of college, just hasn't hit that yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, was it literally his rookie year? He was battling cancer. So, literally since he's been
rough
in the league, he's just very unfortunate for the guy. And obviously, we all hope that he could figure this out in Philadelphia.
Yeah, man. And then speaking of the NFC East, though, we're going to get to the Commanders have been shopping former third-round pick Brian Robinson Jr., and I think this is really significant. And the main reason, from what I've been hearing, why they are shopping Brian Robinson is Ja'Cory Bill Krosky Merritt. Bill Krosky Merritt. He wants to go by Bill, but he has been tearing it up in camp. He had a nice, I think it was a 27-yard touchdown this past weekend. And it's clear that Brian Robinson Jr. really hasn't been panning out that well in Washington. So I really do see him getting traded pretty soon.
See, this is where I'm very... It just shocked me that this news, because from somebody that just watches these games, I really thought Brian Robinson was doing fine for them. So when I did see this news that they are shopping him, it did shock me a little bit. But, I mean... you should see the fantasy football community over Bill right now, because they are just going absolutely insane. Right after the news came out about Brian Robinson, that he is getting shopped in one of my dynasty leagues, somebody immediately put up Bill on the trade block to see what they can get for him.
Dude, everyone scooped him up in the past week. I do want to hit on some teams that I could see Brian Robinson Jr. going to.
Yep.
And specifically, I could see a team like Chicago.
Yeah.
I think Chicago could use him. Ben Johnson, get that David Montgomery role. Because I don't think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be a running back 1 anywhere else in this league, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to be that RB2. It might get a lot of carries, but I think we've seen what we're going to see out of Brian Robinson Jr. at Washington. And we know what we've got. It's just not running back 1 potential like some people thought coming out of the draft.
I do want to argue that just a little bit on, I think there is a team where he can go and pretty easily be the running back 1 right now, just because of how their running back room is shaping out to be, and that is the Houston Texans. I really think that if they were to do this move, then whatever they're telling us about Mixon's injury, they were just not telling us the truth about it, because Mixon is banged up. His Nick Chubb's still there, I guess. I mean, I really haven't seen literally anything about him, and I don't think he's been doing great in camp at all. And then you got good old Dameon Pierce, and I just really think if Brian Robinson is to go there, 1, if they make that move for him, that means that Mixon's injury is worse than we think. And I really think it'd be, as Shaq would say, barbecue chicken to take that job from Nick Chubb at this age.
Dameon Pierce is another guy who I just don't think is that great. He had a good rookie year, but that was it.
Yes. And I do want to touch on, I do think I could definitely see polls calling them up and trying to get him in there, because, I mean, I don't know, do you think he's better than Swift?
I don't. I think Swift is better, but I think he would complement Swift really well.
Yes.
And the fact that we were even involved in these rumors scares me for Roshan Johnson.
Yep.
I think Roshan Johnson is going to be the odd man out here because Monangai has been killing it in
Yep.
preseason and in camp. So I think Roshan's time in Chicago is up.
Which is very unfortunate. Like we talked about before, I was a big fan of Roshan when he did get drafted, and it really is just unfortunate to see that his career is just not completely panning out here in Chicago so far.
Not at all. But I want to get into some contract signings. We had some recent free agent signings. Dolphins signing edge Matthew Judon to a 1-year, $6 million contract, and the Colts also signed Xavier Howard to a 1-year, $5 million contract. Now, I don't know what the Colts are thinking here with Xavier Howard. I think he is well over the hump in terms of his career. I don't understand that signing.
I could tell you why. Dude, all of our guys are getting hurt, man. It's literally insane. Let me pull up.
But my
here.
point is, if you need a corner, Asante Samuel Jr. is still in free agency. I know he's not amazing, but he's better than 2025 Xavier Howard.
No, I mean,
it concerns me that he's not getting signed.
No, I think. Oh man, where did he go visit? I know he visited somewhere today. I did see that. It's just, do I think we could have gotten a better player than Howard? Yeah, I do think so. But it's just these guys behind him, like Juju Brents is already banged up. We just lost Samuel Womack for, I think I read the season. And then Jalen Jones banged up already. It's been, I'm not even kidding, man. I hate being a Colts fan. It sucks, bro. Like, we get injuries all the time. And we'll talk about some here shortly that really I was not a fan about. But I didn't mind the signing because we really do need it. And I really do hope that we get, honestly, one more signing because we really need it. Our cornerbacks are toast other than Ward. Ward and Kenny Moore right now. Like, those two are holding it down, but we need depth so bad, man. It's so bad.
And then Matthew Judon, I think that's a good signing from the Dolphins because, one, I think Judon's still a good player, but also the Chop Robinson injury. Now, when Chop Robinson got injured last week, I don't recall exactly what the injury was, but he said that he was fine, but I hadn't heard otherwise from anybody. So I think that them signing Judon is similar to how you just said with Mixon and Brian Robinson, that if they're signing Judon, maybe Chop Robinson's injury is a little bit more serious. But I like the Judon signing.
I was going to say, I think regardless, it's a good signing. I mean, he's an older guy now, but he's a good player. So I really think
he's still productive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think this was a good signing for the Dolphins because their defense desperately needs it.
Yes, oh man, we'll get into the Dolphins later on with the tier list.
Oh, yeah, we will.
But next up on the list, we have the quarterback controversy in Cleveland is over for now. Joe Flacco is officially named quarterback 1 in Cleveland. I'll let you sound off on this one first.
Okay. I think it's the right move. I'll be very honest with you. He's the vet in that locker room. I don't think Kenny Pickett is good at football. And they have 2 rookies on the roster. And also, remember, Deshaun Watson is there. Oh, and Snoop
and Tyler Huntley.
Dude, like, I think I don't know if it was official. I was listening to the fantasy footballers, and they were saying how Cleveland is gonna go into the season with 4 quarterbacks on their roster, and dude, it's a mess there, man. But luckily, I think Flacco is the best quarterback for them to win games right now.
Agreed. I think that anybody who was upset, and I'm as big of a Shador fan as anybody, but anybody who was truly upset that Flacco was named QB1 over Shador, they had their hopes up for no reason. Flacco, in my opinion, was never really a question that he wasn't going to start the season as a starter. He's the vet. We've seen him pull the Browns to the playoffs before. I'm not shocked that they think he can do it again, which they won't, but I understand their reasoning here on putting Flacco as a starter, and I just hope that at some point we do see Shador, or at the very least he's the QB2 on this team.
Oh, yeah. I think eventually it will happen. I did see I think this is great for all their pass catchers, though. Like, if you're going into your fantasy drafts now, before this, did not want literally one person on that Browns roster. But, I mean, this just gives a boost for all the pass catchers, especially Njoku, which I am very, very happy about. And he seemed very happy that Flacco got named as the quarterback one. And I really just do think this was their best move to do for the time being until one of these rookie quarterbacks could show something.
I think he's just going to let that thing fly this season. I think it's good for a guy like Isaiah Bond. I think he's going to really flourish with Flacco at the helm there. Big fan of this deal. That keeping with the Browns here, we've got Quinshon Judkins. Though he will not face charges, him and the Browns still have been unable to reach a deal, and they may not until the end of any possible NFL investigation. Now, this is super significant for fantasy reasons, for just Browns reasons in general. But I think that the way we were talking before with Sampson having such a good preseason, Judkins not having time to allocate with the team yet, and now you add that he might not get a deal done, and we know the NFL likes to drag out their investigations.
Oh, yeah.
I think this can last a large chunk of this season.
Yeah, man, I do agree with that. And it really is kind of scary to think because, like, I feel like the Browns are just literally just waiting until this thing is done, and like you just said, these investigations go so long. I mean, we still have Rashee Rice still hasn't been punished yet. We have a date, which is September 30th. We'll see if that keeps getting pushed back. But the NFL, man, like, I know you guys may be a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company, but can we not get some quicker investigations, man? Like, just get this thing over with.
And they do it with everybody too. I mean, the fact that they're going to let Rice play multiple games before they even get to his hearing, I mean,
crazy.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Next up on the list, we have Devon Achane, who's currently dealing with a calf injury and was not to practice this week. And to me, if Achane, who is an injury-prone player, is already dealing with injuries and we haven't even hit the regular season, not good news for the Dolphins.
Oh, dude, terrible news for the Dolphins, man, because this guy is a superstar when he is healthy, and it's just, if he's already dealing with a soft tissue injury, Jalen Wright behind him, I'm sorry, but this guy sucks. Everything I've seen from
he's
preseason,
not good.
he is just awful, man. I'm very, very, as somebody who has Ollie Gordon in 2 Dynasty leagues now, I am very, very happy that he is going to have a very good opportunity in front of him.
Yeah, I really like this opportunity for Ollie Gordon. We really hit on it last week, but I think this is one of those situations where he just kind of fell into his lap here, the circumstances, and I think he's going to take it and run with it.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I'm very, very excited to see what Gordon can do. If Achane's not practicing the whole week, it'll be a very big week for Gordon.
Agreed. And before we get into the biggest piece of news, I wanted to hit one more here. Jalen McMillan, Buccaneers wide receiver, suffered a severely strained neck and will miss time, including the start of the season. And I'm seeing that he'll be placed on IR, likely sidelined through week 9.
Yeah, man, it is a big injury. You never want to see these neck injuries with players because they just always keep them out for a long time. And honestly, I feel like it does affect them once they do return from this injury. And if he's in a neck brace, it's going to, like you said right now, it's going to be a long time until we see McMillan. And I would say the positive of, I guess not the positive, it's just Igbuka, he literally has a chance to be, you got to think, Godwin ain't playing week 1. McMillan ain't playing week 1 now. He should be the wide receiver 2 for Baker Mayfield by week 1. And I think that is just a huge opportunity for Igbuka. And honestly, I really, really think he's going to succeed.
Agreed. I think someone hit it perfectly. I don't remember which reporter it was, but his floor is so high, and I think he has a decently high ceiling as well. But I think he's going to come out of the gate sprinting. I mean, he might even get more targets than Mike Evans just because nobody has the NFL film on him. So I wouldn't be shocked if he just comes out the gate sprinting there. Like you said, take the job from Godwin, who's not going to be playing week 1.
Yep.
It's a silver lining at the end of the day with the McMillan and Godwin injuries that you drafted Emeka Egbuka.
Yes, and I do want to put one more thing out there. I listened to a lot of the fantasy footballers, and they were saying, what did I hear from them? That somebody asked Baker Mayfield what he was excited for the most this season. out of everything he possibly could have said, he said that he was so excited for Emeka Egbuka. I just think he is going to have a huge rookie year, and it might start very, very quick for him.
Do you think it'll be on the level of Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr.?
No, I don't think so. I think right under that.
Okay. Agreed. I think he's going to be right at the 1,000-yard mark, maybe a little bit under, because you got to think of all the pass catchers in that offense. Once Godwin comes back, once McMillan comes back, you still have Cade Otton. So I could see him being right around 900 yards on the season. I think that's a good number for him to hit.
Yes, which is also good point bringing up Cade. He is also injured too. So if that just doesn't clear the road more for Egbuka, I don't know what does.
And then the biggest piece of news, which I'm, of course, going to let you hit on first. The Colts have officially named Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, quarterback 1 in Indianapolis. Harry, what do you think?
Oh, let me pull up these notes. I got one thing. I got my notes that is labeled Anthony Richardson rant, but it's actually all about Daniel Jones. So my biggest. All right, let me sit up for this. So my biggest problem.
Oh boy.
My biggest problem with this is they kept saying we want to see improvement. We saw the improvement this training camp from Anthony Richardson. And then another thing that Shane, I didn't have the quote, but he said he wanted consistency. Can you take a guess what the next thing he talked about was? Take a guess. Take a guess. Anything, man.
What was it? What was it?
He said he wanted to talk about consistency, and then he brings up Daniel Jones' 2022 season.
Dude,
why does this matter? Why do we have to? He's saying he wants consistency, and he got to go back 3 years to find it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Now let me be a little reasonable here. The Colts with Daniel Jones, we have a safer floor. I'm not debating that. I really do believe that. But with AR, the ceiling is so much higher, and I honestly believe that this move was to try to save him from a job, man. Because I think Daniel Jones he'll be decent enough to put some wins together, but we're not winning more than, I think somewhere between 7 to 8 games. So I just don't see the reason why. And another thing, let me just trash on Daniel Jones real quick. So let me pull up this tweet. One thing that was, so awesome to read as a Colts fan. Listen to this. Daniel Jones, since 2023. QB win-loss, 3-13, last place. Passing yards, last place. Passing touchdown to interception ratio, last place. Sacked a game, 31st. Passer rating, last. This guy is a bum. I'm sorry. And also I can throw in, he's had 73 giveaways since he was drafted in 2019. That's the 6th most in the NFL. Now, what really I didn't like about this, it's just, why do you throw Daniel Jones in there when he is, oh man, do you know off your head how old he is?
I think he's 28.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to. Yeah, I think
right.
28 sounds about right. He's 28 years old, and I got guys in my comment section on Twitter telling me to give Daniel Jones time. Brother, if we want to give anybody time, why not give the 23-year-old project quarterback that we knew was a project going into that draft? We knew Anthony Richardson was going to be a project. I don't see, why do you guys not give this guy more reps? Now, for example, Richardson, he's still so young. He's younger than Shador, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel. Oh, Shaw's in here by me. Who isn't? Bro, I do so old. Caleb, Bo Nix, Penix, and we're just giving up already. I don't see it, man. I don't know why. Since 2017, we've had 13 different starting quarterbacks for week 1, and it's just terrible. And here, to bring crap on Daniel Jones some more, listen to his record versus teams 0.500 or higher. 2019, 0-7. 2020, 0-6. 2021, 3-4. 2022, 2-6. 2023, 0-4. 2024, 1-6. I don't know what Shane sees in this guy. I really think that he's just trying to hopefully get 9 wins out of the season at the best and keep his job. But man, do I hope that he is gone. Him and Mallard are gone either in the middle of the year or at the end of the year. All right, man. I'm done, bro. There you go. Before I keep getting myself more triggered. There you go. Now, what do you think about the whole
All right,
situation?
I've got some things to say. So, one, I agree with the decision. I agree with the decision to start Daniel Jones. I think that you hit it on the head. I think Shane Steichen needs to save his job this season, and Daniel Jones is the man to attempt it. I don't think he will save it. I think his job is long gone. But if it's up to me, my job's on the line, and I have to choose between Danny Dimes and Anthony Richardson, I'm choosing Daniel Jones, man. I have never been a huge Anthony Richardson guy. Yep. I think he was overdrafted with the 4th overall pick. I think that he was drafted based off the fact that he has the body of Cam Newton and a giant arm. And that's all that there was of him. He didn't look good at Florida. That. I mean,
the thing is, I can't deny any of this. Like, everything you're saying is true. It's just like, my big thing, it was, we wanted to see improvement from last year to this year, and he showed that. He showed that all training camp, and it's just, I mean, I really do think, you agree with me, I really think it's just, Shane is just trying to save his job, and I do agree with you. I am not a crazy, well, no, I'm a crazy, I really want Anthony Richardson to be good and be QB1, but I'm reasonable, and I do think that Daniel Jones is the better guy to try to save Shane's job. Because if AR goes out there and throws 3 passes 20 yards sideways where the receiver is, then, dude, he might be gone by week 3. He literally might get fired by week 3. So I do agree with you. I do see that. It's just, we saw the improvement, and for him just to have a good training camp and then just bench him, it's just like, the guy needs reps, and we're not letting him get reps, and I just don't understand that.
I think it's, so one big thing, so right, improvement, right?
Yes.
But at the very same time, while improvement is huge, you also really have to take last year into account, which isn't totally fair, but again, you got to do it. And the big stat that sticks out to me is completion percentage.
Yep.
There's a drastic, from 63.3%, which isn't that good, from Daniel Jones, to 47.7. I'm sorry. If my quarterback's throwing less than 50% of his passes are being completed, I can't blame the coach for not going with the guy. Even if he had a good training camp, I need to see him. Also, another point, I need him to respond well to this. I need him to keep his head up and keep going, because the big thing to me as well is it's not just the physical aspects. It's not just his play on the field. I still think he's feeling the effects from tapping out of that game.
Dude, it's, oh man, don't even bring that one up, man.
I think he lost a lot of respect there. That's really hard to gain back.
That is, I mean, I can't deny that, man. I really can't. I think that's
insane to me.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy. We can all say that. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't get behind the decision. I don't think Daniel Jones was even like a lot better. I don't think he was better than Richardson this whole, like, literally this competition, but I'm not Shane, so, I don't get to choose.
Can I say a hot take?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I got a hot take.
Yep.
I think this season, Riley Leonard starts more games than Daniel Jones.
That is a hot take.
I think at one point, Riley Leonard is going to have a chance to start for this team. I think whether that be by Richardson getting hurt, because we know he's injury prone, or just by the other two just not playing good.
Yep.
I think the Stike is just going to say, screw it. Riley, get in there. Go lower your shoulder like we know you can, and go try and grind out some wins.
Dude, the funny thing is, literally before all of this, when we drafted Leonard, I got a really good buddy that I work with that's also a massive Colts fan. I told him, dude, we're going to see him at some point in this year. Dude, I really do. I think, like, even if it's just 2 games, I really think Leonard's going to start some games for us. And real quick, before we go off Richardson, you said you want to see how he responds. So they asked him about losing the competition, and he said, and I quote, No hard feelings. It's never personal. I can't let me not being the starter stop me from growing to be the person and player that I'm supposed to be. I just got to stay focused and keep grinding. Dude,
I like that. I like that response.
He is such a likable guy. And okay, well, one sec. The tap out really did wrong with a lot of guys. But other than that, if you just hear the guy speak, he's a well-spoken kid, and I really, really, really hope that he sees this, and now he's like, all right, I got a lot of people to prove now, and he just shows out. And man, do I hope that happens, because I don't know how much Daniel Jones I can watch play football.
I do think we see Richardson at some point. Like I said, like he will start a football game because Daniel Jones is just not great. He's not horrible, but he's bad. And I think we will see Richardson. And I need to see, to me, that first game we see Richardson this season is going to tell the story of the season. How do you respond well with this? You're back against the wall. This is your last chance. You weren't the first choice. How are you going to respond? Because if he comes out, he craps the bed, I think, he just signed
experiment over.
Yeah, it's over.
That's where I'm at.
I really think that you guys are, even if Richardson plays decent, like I'm talking decent, I still think you guys draft a quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm talking decent. If he plays good, maybe you don't draft a quarterback. But if he's just decent, like barely average, I think you have to draft a quarterback.
I've been seeing, like I said, I'm not the biggest college football guy, and I'm going to try to get into it, but I've been seeing a lot, or whoever is making these mock drafts, I think I saw LSU, they had LSU's quarterback to us
Garrett
at 7.
Nussmeier.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
I'm a big fan of Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, that's what I kept seeing was a lot of mocks of him going to us.
I know a lot of mixed opinions on Nussmeier
Why is that?
He is going to be a bit of a project.
Is he? Okay.
But I think he's not nearly as much of a project as Anthony Richardson. He's got an absolute cannon on him, and he's not afraid to thread the needle. He's not afraid to throw that ball in there. And I think if he goes to a system, which to me would not include Shane Steichen.
Yeah.
It would include a guy who can mold a quarterback, and they can coach that out of him. I don't know what's the word, kind of the carelessness out of him, and just kind of tone it down, really hone in on that. He's going to be a multi-time Pro Bowl quarterback. I'm huge on him, and I will stand on that this whole season.
I love that. That is awesome. Just putting your foot down. Yep.
He's my guy, and I'm saying it now before week 0 even starts. I'm on the Nussmeier train this season.
Dude, now it's on video. Now we got it forever. So I do want to talk really, really, really quick. How you said it really depends on how he responds, Anthony Richardson, the first game back. I couldn't agree with you more, because I'll be very honest. From last year I tweeted. I don't know when. At some point I tweeted last year, because I've been in on Anthony Richardson, unfortunately, since we drafted him. I think it's just we picked a guy so high. I haven't seen a good quarterback or a great quarterback since Luck. So I was like, oh man, hopefully this guy can be something. I said that if it was me, obviously I ain't no head coach or GM here, but I would have gave Richardson the first 6 games of this year to see what he does. And if he sucks after that, experiment's over. Get Daniel Jones in there for the rest of the year. I really, really did think we would at least start the season with him to see what he has for a month and a half. And if that month and a half is rough, Daniel Jones is out or in there. But now with Daniel Jones starting, it's just the only reason Anthony Richardson would come in for us is obviously, hopefully not, an injury or Daniel Jones sucking. Shane said that that Daniel Jones doesn't have a short leash with the start.
I can't believe that.
What does Daniel Jones have on this man? That's what I want to know, because this is insane.
Is Steichen
I
in
was
the Epstein
triggered
files?
all day. I was triggered all day at work. I'm not gonna do it. Every time I get on Twitter, it was just more stuff, more stupid things that Shane was saying, and I'm just done. I'm done with it. But moral what I was saying there, I really, really believe that we should have gave Richardson the first month and a half, see what he has. If he was going to be buns that first month and a half, Experiments done. We're done with Anthony Richardson. But
That's
now
fair.
I honestly don't know like when we're gonna see this guy come in. It's just the way that Shane's talking. I'm a little worried, man. I'll be honest.
That's fair, man. I don't blame you in how you feel at all. But next up, we've got the biggest segment of the show.
Oh yeah.
We've got our tier list for NFL teams this season. Now, Harry, do you want to go first? Do you want me to throw it out there first?
I could. I'll start us off today.
All right, let's hear your categories first.
Yes, let's get into it. So, my S tier, it's just here. This one's gonna be real simple. Eagles and Chiefs. Literally, my description of the S tier was different league than the rest. These two teams. I mean, obviously, we've seen the Chiefs dominant for the last 5 years probably. They've been going to Super Bowls, and I'm pretty sure the Eagles are the only team to go more than once in the Super Bowl. And I just think from these teams' rosters, one has Patrick Mahomes and a great defense. One has the most complete roster in the NFL. That was real simple to me. So I ain't really going to be discussing that much. And then, so my A tier will be teams that I believe can win 13 to 15 games. And my B tier will be teams that I believe that can win 10 to 12 wins. And then C, 7 to 9 wins. D, 0 to 6 wins. So we'll start from the bottom here. My D tier was the Panthers, the Jets, the Giants, the Titans, the Browns, and the Saints. What do you think about those teams I have in D tier?
One of these teams specifically sticks out like crazy to me.
Was it the one I put first?
It's the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
The Carolina
I should have
Panthers
specified
to me
this.
should not be in that tier.
Okay, let me specify this. Even though they're the top of that tier, I did organize these in order from what I truly believe.
Okay.
So you can judge it with that. Have any more questions? But yeah, the Panthers were one that I'll be honest. I really do think what we saw last year to end the season with Bryce Young, I really, really want that to be what we see because I really do like the player, and he's an even better guy in person. So it's just I don't know if I'm ready to say, oh, that's the Bryce Young we're gonna see year in and year out. And they have been making some good moves, but their defense is still awful. And it's just I'm not ready to put them in C, but can I easily see them in C by the end of the year? I would say 100%. It's out of that D tier that I think is the team that can easily take that next jump.
See, I know I'm super high on the Panthers, more than most people. I think they have a real shot at winning that division. We have some shorts that are going to be getting posted here on the socials here shortly of where I go through every team's game-by-game schedule, so you'll get to see exactly my thoughts there on where I think the Panthers are finishing. But I think that
fans
offense...
do not tune into that. Let me tell you that.
I think that the Panthers this year are going to shock a lot of people, man. I think Young to McMillan is going to be something you're going to be hearing a lot of every single week.
Yep.
I think Tet is going to have a season very similar to Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's going to be in that upper echelon of 12 to 1,300 yards this season. I think he has a real shot at OPO or Offensive Rookie of the Year this year, not Offensive Player of the Year. And then Chuba Hubbard is amazing. You also brought in Rico Dowdle, who was very, very good for the Cowboys last year. So they're going to have a good running game. I like Jatavion Sanders out there. I think Legette's a good too. You still got Thielen. You got Hunter Renfrow. I think that offense is going to be great. I think the defense just needs to step it up. Yep. And if they are able to step it up a little bit, because I like some guys on that defense. So, Trayvon Mulberg was a great addition this season. So if they could step it up a little bit, I think the offense is going to be able to carry them this season.
Yep.
To me, they're going to finish around the 9 to 10 win mark.
Okay.
Which I'll explain when we get to my tier list. But
no. Like I said, I'll be very, very honest here. Out of all these teams, I really do think. Here, how can I word this? Out of all these teams, the lowest team that I think can make that jump is the Panthers. Because honestly, the more I look at it, You kind of sold me on. Hey, actually, I forgot you didn't talk about these Dolphins yet, so I'll wait for that. But I really do think I can easily see them ending in. I would probably put them high C tier, like very high C tier, to be honest. With even like the potential, if their defense can hold up and do enough, I think they can easily get, like you said, like somewhere like 9 wins around there.
I like it.
And then, yeah, we'll move on to my C tier. And here, I'll just list off all these teams. So we got the 49ers, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Bears, the Steelers, the Falcons, Daniel Jones Colts, Kyler Murray's. Oh, man, I'm losing it now. Kyler Murray's Cardinals we got there, followed by the Cowboys, then the Dolphins, and the Jaguars. What sticks out to you there? Who do you think should go up? Who do you think should go down?
So I think a couple teams should go up here.
Okay.
I think I'm going to, throw it out there. The Bears, we should be a little bit higher.
I knew you were going to say that one. I knew that one.
And I'm sure a good chunk of that is biased. But I think we do finish higher than the 7 to 9 range. I think that the Jaguars should be not at the bottom of that tier. I think they should be closer to the top of that tier, if not the next tier.
Yep.
But, right in that range.
That's fair.
The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins should not be in this tier. I'll get there specifically soon. But they should not be
keeping
at the
quiet
bottom
about
of this
the Dolphins for now. We'll talk about the Dolphins when we get there with you. But
I think the Cowboys could be higher.
Okay.
And then last bit of last one I want to throw in there is I think that the Seahawks could be a bit lower in this tier, and I personally think the Colts should probably be in the next tier down.
Okay. Now, here we'll touch on the Seahawks first. Where would you put them? In front of who?
I would put the Seahawks. Well, it's hard because I would move around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
But I think they should be in the bottom 4 of this tier.
Okay.
Why
is that? Why do you think
Seahawks. So? I think Sam Darnold. I think that's why. I think Sam Darnold is overhyped. I think Sam Darnold's overrated. I think he was carried by Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer. And I think that the Seahawks and the Seahawks fans are quickly going to find out that he's not a very great quarterback. I think Cooper Kupp's a little washed up.
Yep.
And I think Kenneth Walker can't stay on the football field.
Yeah, no. My one thing that I do want to ask you back, how much do you believe Geno Smith is better than Sam Darnold?
Yes.
By how much?
I would say it's not a crazy amount, but I'd say there's a step. I would take a step up to get to Geno Smith.
See, here's my thing with the Seahawks. I was really, really low on them, I'll be honest with you. But then my friend was honestly really convincing me because I don't think the difference between Geno Smith and Sam Darnold will be that big. And I'll say if everything was to go right with these Seahawks, Sam Darnold is decent because I really do think that's all you're going to need. Kubiak's running system, man, has looked amazing in this preseason so far. Every RB they get back there has looked great. And honestly, how you said with Kenneth Walker being always banged up, because he always is banged up, I think Zach Charbonnet is like a perfect replacement. I think he would be so good as RB1 on this team in general. It's just, I think Ken Walker's talent is just different. The problem is his legs and just everything in his body is just made out of jello, it seems. So he is always injured. I do agree with you. I think Kupp's wash, I'll be honest. And I do want to ask you one thing, because me and my buddy were having we were just chatting about this. JSN, his over and under for receiving yards on the season is, what was it? I believe it was 975. What do you think about that? Would you bet the over or the under?
I would take the over. I think he smacks that over.
Okay, that's what we both said, and we were scared. What does Vegas know that we don't?
Yeah,
because
I was doing my
futures
and easily, in my opinion. I think that with Sam Darnold, He's a quarterback who I really do think this was a one-hit wonder season with him in Minnesota.
Yep.
I think all of his bad traits are about to come flooding back like they did in the playoffs last season. When push came to shove, Sam Darnold regressed back to what Sam Darnold truly is, and that's a gunslinger who doesn't have very good decision making. And he likes to force the football. And I think it's bad for the Seahawks, good for JSN.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to put it, actually. I think out of all these C teams, I think the teams that can, and you tell me what you think, the teams that can move. Oh, the Bears. That's what we'll talk about those. We'll talk about your Bears real quick. What they have 4 wins last year, right?
Yep.
I just can't see them making a massive jump. I wouldn't put them in B tier to 10 to 12. I really do believe 7 to 9 is the most realistic thing that can happen, unless Ben Johnson really does transform this team into a different animal. Because I'll be honest, man, I know you liked what you saw from Caleb. I did too in that preseason game. He
was diamond, baby.
Dude, he was diming. He looked very good that game. So,
you know who he looked like?
Who do you think?
He looked like Jared Goff.
Hey, I mean, and Jared Goff's
I've never seen Caleb under center like that. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen Caleb Williams get multiple snaps under center. And he was killing that first play, that rollout boot to Colston Loveland.
Yep.
To me, if I would have blinked and the colors were changed, you couldn't have convinced me that wasn't Jared Goff. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot out of Caleb this season. Because Ben Johnson said he gave them so many plays to memorize because he wants to find out what works. And I think he's really trying to take the decision-making not so much completely out of Caleb's hands, but Caleb has a tendency to play hero ball. And I think he's trying to limit that possibility by making Caleb take these quick 1-2 reads. 1-2, 1-2. First read, second read, run. I think that's what he's trying to do this season. And I don't think he's trying to have him process so much. Because you also got to remember, this is Caleb's third system he's learned, and he's only in his second year.
Crazy.
So I think that's wild, because that's something the Bears, historically, we do. We can't develop quarterbacks. And I think Johnson's the guy, too, to finally develop a quarterback. I am so high on this team. I think our playmakers are out of this world this season. I really loved the fact that I saw in this preseason both Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet make big contributions in those like 2 drives that they had. Because I was really worried that we were only going to see 1 or 2 of them. But I like that both are getting involved because they're both great pass catchers.
Dude, you just literally took everything that I was about to say. Because I really do think Kmet is too good to leave off the field. And obviously, you spend a high pick in Loveland. I mean, Kmet's going to lose.
Can't leave him off.
Exactly. And, Kmet's going to lose targets from that. But it's just, that's not a thing where, I just drafted a player this high. Now tight end 1 before I drafted this guy is just off the team completely. Kmet is too good of a player, I believe, to just leave off completely. So I really think it's going to be very interesting to see what both of those tight ends can do this season.
And I want to bring up one final point on the Bears because I could talk about them forever.
Oh, no, you're good.
That I saw a quote maybe 20 minutes before we started this podcast that I wanted to bring up, but I'm happy that I was able to actually remember it because I didn't write it down. So Jahmyr Gibbs had taken a little shot at the Bears and how we looked in the preseason and said that we were running the same playbook that they ran, right? Stealing our plays. And you know what Ben Johnson replied with?
Oh, what did he say?
Ben Johnson said, I use the same preseason playbook that I've used for the past 4 years. You haven't seen the Bears playbook.
Oh.
And to me, if we just drop 38 points on the Bills in preseason with our backups and
crazy
with how the starters looked on those first 2 drives, with a preseason playbook that he's used every year for the past 4 years, I can't wait to see what madness he has drawn up in his head for our offense in the regular season.
Dude, it's with the weapons you guys have, it's going to be so fun to watch. It's just my thing. I just don't want to be like, oh, Ben Johnson's here. They got all these weapons. Let's shoot them up the board because we've been here before with these Bears. This ain't their first.
I've fallen into the trap again.
Yeah, this isn't their first offseason championship. So we're going to have to.
Three-peating this year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we've three-peated off-season Super Bowl. I'm
gonna keep one more team real brief. I do want to discuss my Colts very, very shortly, so we can also get through your list at a good time. I think this roster is still good. You take off quarterback. Don't look at any of our quarterbacks we got. I think we have great weapons. We have great weapons on this team. Our defense should be a lot better than it was last year, and I really do think it is just going to matter on if Daniel Jones can play point guard for this team and just do enough, because I really do believe we have the talent for that, for getting up here in these still 7 to 9 wins category. And just real quick before I move on, you have any closing remarks about my glorious Indianapolis Colts?
I'll save my remarks for the Colts for my tier list.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. That works.
I think I'll hit a little more on it there because I do have some remarks, but
Cool.
I've already made it clear I don't like the tier they're in.
Yes. And then, let me get into my B tier. 10 to 12 win teams. Started off with the Chargers. Then we got the Bengals, followed by the Broncos, the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Rams, and the Texans. Who do you think should be up? Who do you think should be down?
So there's 2 teams that stick out to me.
Okay.
And that I'd argue even 3. The Bucks was going to be one of the 3, but I could see the Bucks in that 10 to 12 range. I think they might be one under at the top of the 7 to 9 range. I think the Texans, I like that you have them in the bottom of your tier because I think that's where they are. They're in the bottom of this tier, the top of the next tier. And then the Green Bay Packers, I think that they should be at the top of the bottom, at the next lowest tier. And everyone's going to say, it's my bias talking. It's my bias talking. I do not like the receiving talent Green Bay has. I think they have a lot of wide receiver 2s. I don't think they have a wide receiver 1 on that team. Golden could be that guy, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie on a team where, like I said, they have a lot of wide receiver 2s. They have a lot of guys that are going to take a lot of time from him. I think Josh Jacobs is good, but he, in my opinion, has kind of started to regress a little bit. I think his yards per carry is starting to go down. I think he's still going to have a great year. He's still Josh Jacobs. He's going to get a ton of carries. And then Jordan Love, who I've just never been a big fan of, I think he got severely overrated based off of that season that he had. And he didn't have a great year last year. I think he throws way too many interceptions. He could tone it down. He could prove me wrong. Defensively, they are pretty decent. I personally think they finish around 9 and 8. They could push for 10 and 7.
Okay, so now let me tell you what I was thinking about the Packers. I don't want to write off Jordan Love yet. He was hurt last year. He's playing with an injury. So I really do want to see how they come out this year, because I think whatever we see this year, that is the Jordan Love we will see for more than likely the rest of his career. I don't see him making a super big jump or regressing a lot. I want to talk about the wide receivers because for now, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. Plenty of wide receiver 2s, but oh man, literally every single time I open Twitter, all I see is something Matthew Golden did. Just him and Love just connecting on a deep pass, or just him getting all these touchdowns. It's just, I really do think for now, I wouldn't say that he's more of a wide receiver 2, but I really do believe pretty easily that he can be their wide receiver 1.
And I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I think it's very possible. But other than that, man, I really like your tier. I would maybe switch a couple teams around in the tier, but I like everyone that's in that tier.
Yes, and then we'll finish off my list with the A tier, 13 to 15 wins, and I got the Ravens, the Bills, the Commanders, the Lions, and your favorite team, the Vikings. What do you think about those?
You hit it on the head with the Vikings. That's the team that I think does not belong in this tier. I think you said this was it 13 to 15 wins for the Vikings.
Yeah.
I think they get that canceled out of the window in the first 6 weeks. I think that they're going to struggle to start the season without Addison. I think McCarthy is practically a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
I think he's going to be good. I do think he's going to be a good quarterback, but he's still a young guy. He's going to make plenty of mistakes. That's probably going to cost him some games. So I think 13 to 15 is a little hopeful, a little optimistic. I just don't think they do enough. I'm not a big fan of Brian Flores' defenses. I think they're good, but they can tend to get figured out.
Yep.
I do think they tend to get figured out because his path and his formula is simple. It's I'm going to blitz the hell out of you.
Yep.
do something about it.
Yeah.
And when you find out how to do something about it, his defenses get torn up.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like that's kind of why he started so good when he was the head coach in Miami, but eventually it just fell off because he got figured out. I mean, really, just like you said. But my case for the Vikings, I think JJ is going to be better. I think JJ is a better player than Sam Darnold already. So,
Agreed.
like you said, like you said, you think Sam Darnold's taking that step down. We're going to see, the same old Sam Darnold.
Next man up.
Literally. And JJ's QB1 now, and I just really think he's already better than Darnold. And if he's already better than Darnold, and they made some good free agent signings to help out their O-line, and now they also brought in a running back with Jordan Mason to help out Aaron Jones. I really think this team can really turn it up this year, man. If it really just depends on what you think about JJ, and I believe that JJ is going to be a good NFL quarterback, and I wouldn't be surprised if it starts very quick with Kevin O'Connell.
I think it's very possible that they can be good. But as mentioned earlier in the podcast, I have done my game by game, and man, they have a tough stretch in there.
Yeah.
They have some real tough games ahead. And I think that's where they have quite a lot of primetime games. A surprising amount of primetime and highlighted games this season that I think the lights might be a little bright for JJ in his rookie season. So I do think, it's a little high on your tier list for them, but I can hear you out.
No, I got you. And then I did very, very quick. What do you think about the Lions being up there with all their departures this offseason?
I agree with it, man. I agree with it. And you'll see where I have them here shortly in my tier list, but I 100% agree with them being where they're at. I think people are way too down just because they lost Ben Johnson and I can't remember his first name, but Coach Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
I think they still have an insane amount of talent on that team. Hutchinson's going to be back. I think that as long as their coordinators have a functioning brain, they're still going to be a fantastic team.
No, that's literally exactly what I thought. I really don't think the losses are going to do so much to them just because, talent is still there. And at the end of the day, the talent will always take over. And then I'll move on here from, I know I talked about my S tier. Like I said, I really think Chiefs and Eagles are just a different tier than the rest of the league. And if you don't have any comments about that, then you can get right into your tier list.
Are they your Super Bowl picks? Or is it too early to tell? Maybe
I would say
we say for a later time.
Yes, yeah. That's a good one. I'll save that one.
We'll save that for a later time. I'll tune in next week to hear the Super Bowl picks.
Yep.
Maybe next week. Maybe the next week after.
We'll see. We'll talk about it eventually.
Keep you guessing around here.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, I will get into my tier list now. So I did my categories a little bit differently. So for S tier, those are my Super Bowl contenders, teams that I think have a shot of making the Super Bowl. My A tier are teams that I think have a realistic shot of making at least the conference title game. I think my B tier, and again, like Harry did, I put my teams in order in these tiers. My B tier, those are my playoff contenders. Teams that have a real genuine shot of playoffs that I expect them to make the playoffs or at least be right there. C tier, they're not quite there. I think they're right on the edge. And then D tier, they have no shot, bottom of the barrel, and according to Harry, except the Colts.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know anymore, man.
So I'll get started right away. We'll start at the bottom with the D tier. In order, graphic on the screen as well. Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, Arizona Cardinals, Browns, Dolphins, Saints, and again, the D tier, no shot, bottom of the barrel. Fire away questions.
Here, this is what I'm going to say about this. Colts in D tier, okay? Here's my thing. I agree with it because you ain't making or winning the Super Bowl unless you have a great quarterback or your name is Nick Foles, and we don't have either of that right now. So we're literally missing the most important position. And yeah, I agree. No shot with us. Not anytime soon. With your other people or your other teams in here, Titans ain't win none. Cardinals ain't win none. Yeah, bro, this is. I agree with everybody on this list. And
I think
so,
it's time to
real
talk
quick,
about the Dolphins.
I was just about to say, I think we
I'm
need to
ready
hear
to.
what you think about the Dolphins.
I've got my shield and my sword out. I'm ready to die on this hill. That the Miami Dolphins are going to be the second worst team in the league this season. I
Man.
think they are going to be abysmal this year. I think Tua is too injury prone, and when he plays, when the lights are on, Tua doesn't show up. And whether that be from all the concussions he's taken or the fact that he's just not a very good clutch player, Tua doesn't show up when it matters. I think Tyreek, while still a good receiver, he's been kind of handicapped by the fact that teams have figured him out by just playing too high safety.
Yep.
And when he's forced to run underneath routes, he's not the best player. I think Jalen Waddle, unfortunately, is not what we thought he was off of his first rookie season. I think Devon Achane is just very injury prone and won't see the field that often, and I don't like that defense at all. And I think Mike McDaniel's on that hot seat, man, and I think that he's kind of lost the team a little bit. We've seen the comments between, from Tyreek Hill all off season long, and even last season. I think he doesn't make the full season. I don't think they win more than 4 or 5 games at most. That's on a good day.
I want to agree with you on one thing. I also do think that I think McDaniel's on the hot seat, and I think he's going to be gone this year. Unfortunately, I hope he proves me wrong because he's an awesome guy. Love watching him, love watching his interviews. But the big problem that you just said, their quarterback 1 is injury prone, their RB1 is injury prone, and their wide receiver 2 is injury prone. This happens every year with these guys. Like we've been seeing this with Achane literally since he entered the league. We've been seeing it with Waddle for the last 3 years. Do I have to explain Tua? Like, I definitely can see them just completely crapping out this year and being a bottom team.
Now, I haven't seen all the movies, but from what I've heard, the Miami Dolphins are like the Fast and the Furious movies. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. We know how this story is going to play out. They're going to get injured. They might start off strong, and they're going to fumble their way through the end of the season with injuries and just bad play, and they also just can't play well when it gets cold out. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. So, how many games you got the Saints winning real quick?
The Saints, again, we'll get through the full schedule breakdown. It's going to be super, super in-depth for the Saints.
On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of those. That's where you'll be able to
all
find
the socials. They'll be in the description.
Yep.
But yeah, New Orleans, I got them winning 1 game if they're lucky. I think it's possible that we do see another 0-17 season.
Dude, they are so bad, man. They are so bad.
And unfortunately for them, Arch is probably not going to be in this class.
No, I don't think so, and that's why I hope, hopefully the Colts do decent this year and really suck next year. That would be the goal.
Although I will say, again, right before the podcast came out, I saw a clip of Arch at the Texans practice that was asked about his, grandfather Archie, saying that he's staying at Texas. He said, "I don't know where he heard that from. We'll see what happens."
Dude, it's gonna be, oh man, just when he does declare, it is gonna be so awesome to watch. It's gonna be just because that last name, man. I mean, literally, the last name does it all, and
he could be mediocre.
Dude, yeah, seriously, I cannot wait to watch him in this league, and I cannot wait to watch the whole draft process when he does declare.
He's going to be the star of the show, man. Cam Ward, you wait to see what a real number 1 pick gets treated like, man.
Yeah, no, seriously. Poor guy.
But moving up next, we have my C tier, which, again, that's the tier. The C tier is just they're not quite there yet. And they're right on the edge of the playoffs. So to me, in order, it goes the Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Giants, the Seahawks, and the Jets. Questions?
Get explaining, bro. I need to hear it. Let me hear those Vikings. I really just want to hear, because I had them in A tier for 13 to 15 wins.
Yeah.
And you have and you have them not quite there. What do you think? Why?
I think the reason they don't make playoffs is, the wild card scene in the NFC is going to be a bit hectic this year. There's going to be a lot of teams with good records in there, and I think the Vikings finish around 8 or 9 wins, and I don't think that's enough to make the playoffs this season. I just think the lights are going to be a little bit too bright for JJ with a lot of pressure on his shoulders to make the playoffs this season, to get Justin Jefferson the ball, and they have a tough schedule, man. I was, again, going through the game by game.
Yep.
They have a really tough stretch in there where they play teams like here. Let me pull it up real quick. I'll
Yep.
just show you the stretch that they have to go on. So they play Philadelphia, the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. They go on the road to Detroit, at home versus the Ravens in Chicago, and then on the road against Green Bay, on the road against Seattle, which no matter how you think about Seattle, on the road in Seattle's a tough place. Then they have Washington, and then Dallas on Sunday Night Football, and then the Giants. But I mean, that's not part of the tough stretch. But that's a really tough stretch, and I think that's where a large chunk of their losses come from this season.
No, I was gonna say that. I think it was literally like the first 6 teams you said. All of them had a great defense. So
It's
I definitely could see, I can definitely see them having that start. And just because we just got done talking about the Vikings, I was looking at the rest of your list here. I think and I'm talking like, I mean, we already know how I feel about the Raiders. I think they can be a dark horse team. But
yes.
the Steelers, I do want to talk about them very, very briefly. Their defense is so good, and it's going to be so good. I think the way that they can match, or the way that they can possibly move up to, honestly, I feel like I'd put them maybe even ahead of the Cowboys up there in B tier, is if, oh man, you're going to hate this name, if Aaron Rodgers can do enough. Because I think Aaron Rodgers will be the perfect, I always say it, play point guard of the team, basically. I think he's going to do enough. And if you look at his stats from last year, him and Mahomes had very, very, very similar stats. So I don't think he's completely washed yet. It's just, if he was to do good, and honestly, I think they need another weapon in there. I don't think DK and nobody else behind him is going to be enough. So maybe they bring somebody in, but I think, now do I think they're Super Bowl contenders? No, but I do believe that they can make the jump and pretty easily to playoff contenders depending on the quarterback play.
All right. I fully disagree on this one.
That's okay. Yep.
I think that the defense, like you said, is good. I like their defense. They got Jalen Ramsey in there. Big fan of the defense. Offensively, I hate it. I hate their team offensively. I think Aaron Rodgers is not going to have a good season. I think that he was kind of, last season, probably should have retired, in my opinion. And I think that from what I've seen in training camp, he has looked his age. I think DK Metcalf's their only weapon. And while I do like DK Metcalf, I do think he's not as good as he should be. He has the body of Calvin Johnson, yet he plays like a Jerry Jeudy. He's not a jump ball guy for some reason. He doesn't use his body how he should. And I just don't see, I mean, Roman Wilson could make a step up.
Maybe.
Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington. I mean, I don't really like their running back room with Warren.
Oh, you're missing one name
Johnson.
there. One name there they brought in, Jonnu Smith. I think he can.
Jonnu Smith, I think, is going to be nice. But
I
again,
think he's. I was going to say that's it, though. That's all they got. Like
it's
really,
all tight ends as well, man. You got 3 tight ends out there. And in my opinion, you're not going to put Fryermuth and Jonnu Smith out there. Darnell Washington at this point is practically an extra offensive lineman. When you run a 2 tight end set, he's going to be out there. So I think it's going to be weird to see how they use those 3 tight ends. But I'm just not a fan of the Steelers this season. I think it's finally the year where they break the curse. They don't go above 500. I have them at right around 8 wins this season.
You said 8 wins?
I think 8 wins. It's there for a reason. They could end up with 9 by just pulling it from somewhere. They could just end up with 9 wins just because it's what Mike Tomlin and the Steelers do. But I am of the opinion personally that Mike Tomlin is a tad bit overrated.
Agreed. Unfortunately, because he is such an awesome dude on these interviews. He was on the Pat McAfee show and he was awesome to watch, but I agree, man. I think they're overrated. It's just, if you would tell me, hey, I can guarantee you a coach that will go over 500, but never do anything in the playoffs, I don't think I'd take that, man. It's just like,
look at the team that he was handed by Bill Cowher. He won a Super Bowl. I think that very next season was actually when they won the Super Bowl. And then they went back a couple of years later, and since then, They haven't been a serious threat.
No.
Like you said, man, they don't perform in the playoffs, and for some reason, Pittsburgh's just okay with that. They're just content with going 9-10 wins every season and fumbling in the wild card or divisional round.
Real quick, before we move on to your next tier, how long or when do you think Mike Tomlin gets released from that job?
I think after this season.
Yeah.
I think because I think Rodgers is gone.
Yep.
And I think the team's going to want to take a shot at a new coach with a new quarterback, pair them up.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
But at the same time, I could see them waiting out the TJ Watt contract. I think maybe you want to just give it a couple more goes while you got these guys in their prime. But if it was me, if I'm the Steelers, I'm letting them go after this year when Rodgers retires.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, next up, we got the B tier. B tier, these are my playoff contenders. Guys I think have a real shot at the playoffs and probably should be making the playoffs. I've got the Bears, Chargers, Bengals, the Cowboys, Jaguars, and 49ers, the Packers, Patriots, Panthers, Buccaneers, and Texans.
All right. We talked about the Panthers, so I'll leave that alone.
Yes.
But I need to hear why, because I feel you're just a lot higher on the Jaguars than I am. And I'm not even saying that just because, they're in my division. It's just, what do you think changes for the Jaguars this year? Is it Liam Cohen?
I think it's a mix of Liam Cohen, who I think is a great play caller, but I think that they have been dealt a nice hand of cards there. They have a very good, easy schedule this season. I don't like the state of the rest of the division. Sorry, but
hey,
I don't like the state of the rest of the South. I think the Texans are their only competition, who, as you can see on my tier, I have them a lot lower in this, but they're in the same tier, but I have them lower here. I do think the Jaguars win the South this year. I think healthy Lawrence is going to do just enough with the weapons around him to pull that team to the playoffs. I love their pass rush. And obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. is an absolute stud. You had Travis Hunter in there. I mean, I like the team. I love their running back room. So I think they have just enough to win that division at 9 or 10 wins.
Dude, oh man. My only thing with the Jaguars, I can't see him passing the Texans. I'll be honest. Could I see him number 2? Yeah, and honestly, pretty easily. It's just I feel like CJ Stroud last year was just dealt so many bad cards, man. I mean, you had Tank Dell, literally his leg didn't it snap, right?
I think he's got a lot more bad cards dealt his way this year, in my opinion. I think it's
they have
not
a lot of question marks.
And you know what? Episode of hot takes from me, apparently. CJ Stroud.
Hey, whoa,
we
can save a hot take episode. That could be
all right.
good.
You know what?
Yeah.
We can save
it. Wait a sec. I think.
But a little preview.
Yep.
I think the Texans aren't going to be good for that long. I think it's not going to be long before they're back at the bottom of the barrel. If you catch what I'm saying here.
No, hey, we'll discuss that on the hot take show. But I'm looking at we talked about the Bears a lot, so I'll leave that. I agree with the rest of your list, man. I'll be honest. I think the Patriots are going to be very, very, honestly, I'd move them pretty high up this list because I really do think that they're going to do it. Maybe it's just because I love Drake May, but I think that out of all the teams in your B tier, I think them and the Buccaneers could make the biggest jump.
I also I think Patriots right around 9 wins. I think 8 or 9, maybe even 10 wins. That's a good mark for them this year. And one team I got to throw in there because I feel like we didn't really hit on them at all. The Cowboys. We them boys. The boys are back. Jerry, are we back?
Oh, Jerry.
We're really not back.
No.
But
Micah's
I do
still
think
not.
10 wins is a good margin for them. I think that they went 7-10 with Cooper Rush. Not a good team. I think the Cowboys, you throw Dak in there with Lamb, Pickens, and all these guys. I think you got Overshown coming back on defense, a good leader in that linebacker area.
Yep.
I think they do just enough to win 10 games. Again, obviously not winning the division. Might sneak into the playoffs, but I think they'll be right around the 10 wins there.
Yes, I'll have some closing remarks about your B tier. So with the Cowboys here, I'm huge on them this year, man. I'll be honest. I really do think that Or at
Is
least
this
let me
their
say
year?
huge for fantasy. Let me say huge for fantasy for that. Because my tier, yeah, I did have them in the 7 to 9. So literally, I mean, I think they can sneak in just where you got them. But fantasy purposes here, man, I love Dak, I love CD, and I love Pickens. I think Pickens, not even just for fantasy, for NFL as well, Pickens being there is going to open the field so much for CD. Last year, CD is just seeing all of these double teams, and now you can't do that anymore because you have Pickens on the other side, and Pickens is a dog, man. I mean, I really do think we're going to see Dak throw this ball about 40 times a game. That's what happens when Javonte Williams is your RB1. But I am just very, very excited to watch this passing attack of what should be Dallas this season.
Yeah, man. I think they're going to be exciting to watch again. But next up, we've got the A tier. A tier, these are my guys that I think should be conference title contenders. So they're right on the verge of the Super Bowl. Might sneak in, but I think it's a safe bet to say they should be right around the conference title game. And I've only got two teams here. I've got the Washington Commanders and the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet about both of these teams. Washington, you got Jane Daniels. You put him in A tier. That's how it goes. They've improved their team. Hopefully they sign Terry. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Daniel Jones. That is crazy. I don't think
He's on
Jaden
your
Daniels. Dude, yes, he is. I don't think Jane Daniels is gonna fall off like Stroud did year 2. So yeah, I think A is perfect for them, and literally the same thing with Denver. Bo Nix. I'll be honest. I feel like me and a lot of people really hated on this guy getting drafted. It's just, older guy, been in college for a while, but I feel like him and Sean Payton is just a dream matchup.
It's a match
together.
made in
Dude,
heaven.
Yeah, literally. They are going to be, with that defense still, they are going to be so good. And just another year of Knicks learning from Payton as well. They're going to be very, very fun to watch this year.
I think that, hey, I mentioned it, I think episode 1, man. They're a dark horse for the Super Bowl for me. I'm so high on the Broncos. I am, I'm fully on that board. Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Yeah.
I'm there. So Russ is gone, but we're still riding for Broncos Nation. I think
Always.
that team they have a real shot at taking the division from the Chiefs. I think it's possible.
Dude, man, that'd be a tough task. That would be a tough task. But I do think, I don't know, here's my thing. I don't know if they do that. I'll be honest, man. One has Patrick Mahomes, It's just Mahomes and that Chiefs team is different, but do I think they can get
Unlikely. Yeah, unlikely.
Yes, yeah. Do I think they
they're
can
a
get
wild
close?
card team.
Yes,
but
I think they could get close though. I would say that because I really do think just Knicks and Peyton together just work so good, and you have such a great defense, and now you have Evan
Such a
Ingram
good
also to
defense.
throw the ball to. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. An older guy, but when healthy, he's a target machine. He catches all of them. So I really think it's going to be a very, very good year for the Broncos this year.
And I think that running back room, it's going to be a nice running back by committee backfield there. But lastly, want to get into, because we're kind of getting a little rushed on time here, so we've got our final category for me. This is the S tier. These are my true Super Bowl contenders, teams that have a genuine shot at winning a Super Bowl this year. I've got the Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Rams, and the Lions.
I'll be honest, I'm only playing devil's advocate here because I agree with this tier. If I had to say one thing just to make you explain why the Rams?
I'm similar to the Broncos, super high on the Rams. I think that team was the only team in the playoffs last season to give Philadelphia a run for their money. I think when push comes to shove, Matthew Stafford is one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the league. I think that's a guy I want leading my team when it matters most. I think their defense is about to take a massive step up. They're super young on defense, and I think they're going to be borderline elite defense this season. Puka Nacua, a healthy Puka Nacua, is going to go for 1,500 yards.
Yep.
And then your wide receiver, too, is Devontae Adams. I mean, Devontae Adams, he's probably going to be borderline 1,000 yards as well. He's still got Higbee at tight end. Kyron Williams is phenomenal. You got Corum to back him up.
Yep.
I mean, I think that team, and obviously Sean McVay at the helm, who is one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't see why not the Rams. I think they're the second best team in the NFC.
I do want to touch back on. I think you nailed the wide receivers perfectly. I really do think Puka is going to be obviously that yardage guy. I could see 1,500 yards easily, but I think where people might disagree with you, but I think you're correct. Um, I think Devonte Adams is definitely going to be more the like. I would not be shocked if this guy has 10 plus touchdowns. I think he's going to be the red zone guy.
Oh yeah,
I think
I,
whenever
I
they get
agree.
there, Stafford's going to look right for him, and it's Devontae Adams, so he's going to come down with a lot of them. And I really do think, hopefully, hopefully these two can stay healthy because that is going to be one of the most fun wide receiver duos to watch when you have I'm gonna call him Slafford, Matthew Stafford slinging the ball all year, and hopefully, my one concern, I mean, everybody in the fantasy community is saying the same thing. Can Stafford just stay healthy? That's just the biggest question right now.
He is practicing now, so there's a little bit of hope there. But I do want to just add as well that Puka is, in my opinion, and I don't know how to word this correctly, but what they wanted Cup to be for longer. I think Puka's going to be the 10 to 15 targets a game guy, and he's just going to get schemed open on top of just elite route running, that he is going to get 100 yards a game. I think easily he's going to carry their offense this season. And if you try and double team him, like we said, they've got Devontae Adams over there as well. They've got all these other weapons, so I wouldn't be shocked if they make the Super Bowl over the Eagles.
And I do want to add on. You said they got all these big touchdown guys. Kyron Williams is in that backfield. 2024, 14 touchdowns. 2023, 12 touchdowns. Dude, it's just
He's a touchdown machine.
dude. There's so many things that can happen with this Rams offense. It is going to be so fun to watch. I would not be surprised if we see Kyron's touchdown numbers go down a little bit and those go right to Stafford throwing them because this dude is just going to be. I think Stafford's going to eat this year if he can stay up.
I think it's his year after, I think it's 2 years now, he's been around like the 23, 24 touchdown mark. I think it's going to look a lot more like their Super Bowl winning season where he had in the higher 30 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. I think he's, like you said, he's going to be slinging that ball this season.
No, dude, 100% agree. And that's what'll happen when you have a guy like Puka and then a red zone threat like Devonta.
It's going to be a fun season regardless, man, for everybody. But that's going to do it for us for this week here for the Gridiron Network, episode number 4. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe as usual on whatever platform you're listening on. And we will see you guys in the next one.